Okay. Mm, mm. Okay. I am reading from the complete works of William Shakespeare, Volume 1. I'm reading his play called Love's Labour's Lost, Act 3, Scene 1. The same. Enter Armado and Moth. Armado, warble child, make passionate my sense of hearing. Moth, concolino, singing. Armado, sweet air, go, tenderness of years. Take this key, give enlargement to the swain. Bring him festinately hither. I must employ him in a letter to my love. Moth, master, will you win your love with a French brawl? Armado, how meanest thou, brawling in French? Moth, no, my complete master, but to jig off a tune at the tongue's end, canary to it with your feet, humor it with turning up your eyelids, sigh a note and sing a note, sometime through the throat, as if you swallowed love with seeming love, sometime through the nose, as if you snuffed up love by smelling love, with your hat penthouse like over the strap of your eyes, with your arms crossed on your thin belly doublet, like a rabbit on a spit, or your hands in your pocket like a man after the old painting, and keep not too long in one tune, but a snipping away. These are compliments, these are humors, these portray nice wrenches that would be betrayed without these, and make them men a note. Do you note me? That most are affected to these. Armado, how hast thou purchased this experience? Moth, by my penny observation. Armado, but oh, Moth, the hobby horse is forgot. Armado, callest thou my love hobby horse? Moth, no, master, the hobby horse is but a colt, and your love perhaps a hackney. But have you forgot your love? Armado, almost I had. Moth, negligent student, learn her by heart. Armado, by heart and in heart, boy. Moth, and out of heartness, master, all these three I will prove. Armado, what wilt thou prove? Moth, a man if I live in this, by, in, and without, upon the instant. By heart you love her, because your heart cannot come by her. In heart you love her, because your heart is in love with her. And out of heart you love her, being out of heart, that you cannot enjoy her. Armado, I am all these three. Moth, and three times as much more, and yet nothing at all. Okay. Mhm. Armado, fish Heather the swain, he must carry me a letter. Moth, a message well sympathized, a horse to be ambassador for an ass. Armado, ha ha, what sayest thou? Moth, marry, sir, you must send the ass upon the horse, for he's a very slow gaited, but I go. Armado, the way is but short, away. Moth, as swift as lead, sir. Armado, the meaning, pretty ingenious, is not lead a metal heavy, dull, and slow? Not minimum, honest master, or rather, master, no. Our motto, I say, let it slow. Moth, you are too swift, sir, to say so. Is that lead slow, which is fired from a gun? Our motto, sweet smoke of rhetoric. He refused me a common canyon, and the bullet, that's he. I shoot thee at the swain. Moth, jump then, and I flee. He exits. Our motto, a most acute juvenile, voluble and free of grace. By thy favor, sweet welcome, I must sigh in thy face. Most rude, melancholy, Baylor gives thee place. My herald is returned. Re-enter moth with costard. Moth, a wonder, master. Here's a costard broken in a chin. Our motto, some enigma, some riddle. Come, thy envoy, begin. Costard, no enigma, no riddle, no envoy, no salve in the mill, sir. Oh, sir, plantain, a plain plantain. No envoy, no envoy, no salve, sir, but a plantain. Our motto, by virtue thou enforcest laughter. Thy silly thought, my spleen, the heaving of my lungs provokes me to ridiculous smiling. Oh, pardon me, my stars, doth the inconsiderate take salve for envoy, and the word envoy for a salve? Moth, do the wise think them other, and not envoy a salve? Is not envoy a salve? Our motto, no page, it is an epilogue or discourse to make plain some obscure precedent that hath tofore been same. I will example it. The fox, the ape, and the humble bee were still at odds, being but three. There's a moral, now the envoy. Moth, I will add the envoys. Say this moral again. Our motto. The fox, the ape, the humble bee were still at odds, being but three. Moth, until the goose come out the door and stayed the odds by adding four. Now will I begin your moral, and do you follow with my envoy? The fox, the ape, and the humble bee were still at odds, being but three. Our motto, until the goose came out of door, staying the odds by adding four. Moth, a good envoy, ending in the goose. Would you desire more? Coaster, the boy has sold in a bargain, a goose that's flat. Sir, your pennyworth is good, and your goose be fat. To sell a bargain, well, is a cunning as fast and loose. Let me see, a fat envoy. Say, that's a fat goose. Our motto, come hither, come hither. How did this argument begin? Mop, by saying that a costard was a broken in a chin, then called you for the envoy. Costard, true, and I for a plantain. Thus came your argument in. Then the boy's fat envoy, the goose that you bought, and he ended the market. Our motto, but tell me, how was there a costard broken in a chin? Mop, I will tell you sensibly, costard. Thou hast no feeling of it, Mop. I will speak that envoy. I coasted, running out. That was safety within. Fell over the threshold and broke my shin. Our motto, we will talk no more this matter. Coasted, till there be more matter in the shin. Our motto, Syra coasted, I will enfranchise thee. Coaster. Oh, marry me to one princess. I smell some envoy, some goose in this armado. By my sweet soul, I mean setting thee at liberty, in freedoming thy person, thou wert enmeshed, restrained, captivated, bound, coastered. True, true. And now you will be my purgation, and let me loose. Armado, I give thee thy liberty, set thee from durance, and in lieu thereof impose on thee nothing but this. Very significant, giving a letter to the country maid, Jacanetta. There is remuneration for the best word of mine. Honor is rewarding my dependents. Moth, moth follow, exit, moth. Like the sequel, I, Signor Coaster, adieu, Coaster, my sweet ounce of man's flesh, my Anconi Jew, exit moth. Now will I look to his remuneration? Remuneration? Oh, that's a Latin word for 3 farthings. 3 farthings. Remuneration. What's the price of the ankle? 1 penny. No, I'll give you a remuneration. Why, it carries it. Remuneration. Why, it is a fairer name than French crown. I will never buy and sell out of the word. Enter Byron. Okay. Mhm, mhm, mhm. Byron. Oh, my good knave Coaster, exceedingly well met. Coaster. Pray you, sir, how much carnation ribbon may a man buy for a remuneration? Byron. What is a remuneration? Coaster. Marry, sir, halfpenny farthing. Byron. Why then 3 farthing worth of silk. Coaster. I thank your worship. God be with you. Byron. Stay, slave. I must employ thee, as thou wilt win my favour. Good my knave. Do one thing for me that I shall entreat. Coaster. When would you have it done, sir? Byron. This afternoon. Coaster. Well, I will do it, sir. Fare you well. Byron. Then knowest not what it is. Coaster. I shall know, sir, when I have done it. Byron. Why, villain, thou must know first. Coaster. I will come in your worship tomorrow morning. Byron. It must be done this afternoon. Hark, slave, it is but this. The princes come to hunt here in the park, and in her train there is a gentle lady. When tongues speak sweetly, then they name her name. And Rosaline they call her, ask for her, and to her white hand, see thou do commend. This seal set up counsel. There's thy garden. Go, giving him a shilling. Coaster, garden, oh sweet garden, better than remuneration. 11 pence farthing, better. Most sweet garden. I will do it, sir, in print. Garden remuneration. Exit. Byron. And I forsooth in love. I that have been love's wit. A very beetle to humor's sigh. A critic nay. A night watch constable. A domineering pedant over the boy. Then when whom no mortal so magnificent, this wimpled, whining, purblind, wayward boy, this sensitive junior, the senior junior, giant dwarf, Dan Cupid, regent of love rhymes, lord of folded arms, the anointed sovereign of sighs and groans, leads of all lawyers and malcontents, dread prince of plackets, king of codpieces, sole imperator and great general of trotting territories. O my little heart, and I to be a corporal of his field, and wear his collars like a tumbler's hoop. What I love, I sue, I seek a wife, a woman that is like a German clock, still a repairing, over out of frame, and never going right, being a watch, but being watched that it may still go right. Nay, to be perjured, which is worst of all, and among three to love the worst of all, a white-leafed wanton with a velvet brow, with two pinch balls stuck in her face for eyes, a, and by heaven, one that will do the deed to Argus, were her as you much in her guard, and I to sigh for her, I to watch for her, to pray for her, go to. It is a plague that Cupid will impose for my neglect of his almighty dreadful little might. Will I will love, write, sigh, pray, sue, and groan. Some men must love my lady, and some Joan. Exit. And that was the end of Act 3. Okay. Next time I'll read Act 4. Okay. Thank you all. Mhm. Okay. Mhm. 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 Okay. Mhm. Mhm. Okay. Now I'm gonna be reading from Ara Lee by Elizabeth Barrett Browning. Okay. Okay. Books succeed, and Liz fell. Do I feel it so at last? Kate loves a worn out cloak for being like mine, while I live self despised for being myself, and yearn toward someone else who yearns away from what he is in his turn. Strain a step forever, yet gain no step. Are we such we cannot with our admirations even, our tiptoe aspirations, touch a thing that's higher than we, is all a dismal flat, and God alone above each, as the sun over level lagoons to make them shine and stink, laying stretch upon us with immediate flame, while we respond with our mismal fit fog, and call it murmuring, mounting higher, because we grow more highly fatal. Touch our Lee, you wear your sackcloth, Luke in Caesar's way, and rag your failings as mankind's. Be still. There is what's higher in this very world than you can live or cash at. Stand aside and look at others. Instant little Kate. She'll make a perfect wife for Carrington. She always has been looking around the earth for something good and green to alight upon and nestle into, with those soft winged eyes subsiding now beneath his manly hand. Twist trembling lids of inexpressive joy. I will not scorn her, after all, too much, that so much she should love me. A wise man can pluck a leaf and find a lecture's end, and I too, God has made me. I've a heart that's capable of worship, love, and loss. We say the same of Shakespeare's. I'll be meek and learn to reverence even this poor myself. The book, too, tacit, a good book, says he, and you a woman. I had laughed at that, but long since. I am a woman, it is true. Alas, and woe to us when we feel it most. Then I cast care, the least care have we for the crowns and golds and, and compliments on writing our good books. The book has some truth in it, I believe, and truth outlives pain as a soul does life. I know we talk our placidos to the end through all the dismal faces that we make, overwrinkled with dishonoring agony from decomposing drugs. I have written truth, and I, a woman, feebly, partially, and aptly in hesitation. Romney, I'll add, because a woman, for the truth itself, that's neither man's nor woman's, but just God's. None else has reason to be proud of truth. Himself will see it sifted, disenthralled, and kept upon the height and in the light, as far as and no farther than 'tis truth. For now he has left off calling firmaments and strats, flowers, and creatures very good. He says it still of truth, which is his own. Truth so far in my book, the truth which draws through all things upwards, that a twofold world must go to a perfect cosmos, natural things and spiritual, who separates these two in art and morals or the social drift, tears up the bound of nature and brings death, paints little pictures, paints futile pictures, writes on real biers, leads vulgar days, deals ignorantly with men, is wrong in short at all points. We divide this apple of life and cut it through the pipe, through the pips. The perfect round which fitted Venus' hand has perished as utterly as if we ate both halves. Without the spiritual, absurd, the natural's impossible, no form, no motion. Without sensuous, spiritual is inappreciable, no beauty or power. And in this truthful sphere, the twofold man, and still the artist is intensely a man, holds firmly by the natural to reach the spiritual beyond it, fixes still the type with mortal vision to pierce through, with eyes immortal to the antitype. Some call the ideal, better called the real, and certain to be called so presently, when things shall have their names. Look long enough on any peasant's face here, courage and mind, you'll catch Antinous somewhere in that day, in that clay, as perfect featured as he yearns at Rome, from marble pale with beauty, then persist. And if you're prehension competent, you'll find some fair angel at his back, as much exceeding him as he the lover, and pushing him with empirical disdain forever out of sight. A. Carrington is glad of such a crowd, an artist must, who paints a tree, a leaf, a common stone, with just his hand, and finds it suddenly a peace within conterminous to his soul. Why else do these things move him, leaf or stone? The bird's not moved, that pecks at a spring about, nor yet the horse before a quarry a graze. But man, twofold creature apprehends the twofold manner, in and outwardly, and nothing in the world comes single to him, a mirror itself, cup, column, or candlestick, all patterns of what shall be in the mount, the whole temporal, slow, show related rolily, and build up to eternal significance through the open arms of God. There's nothing great nor small, has said a poet of our day, whose voice will ring beyond the curfew of ear and not be thrown out by the matin's bill. And truly, I reiterate, nothing small, no lily muffled hum of a summer lee, of a summer bee, but find some compiling wait, but find some coupling with the spinning stars. No pebble at your feet, but proves a sphere. No chat bench, but implies the cherubim. And glancing on my own thin, veined wrist, in such a little tremor of the blood, the whole strong clamor of a vehement soul doth utter itself distance, earth crammed with heaven, and every common bush afire with God, but only he who sees takes off his shoes. The rest sit around it and pluck blackberries and daub their natural faces unawares more and more from the first similitude. Truth so far in my book, a truth withdrawn from all things upward. I, Ara, still have felt it hound me through the waste of life, as Job did low, and until that hand shall overtake me wholly, and on my head lay down this large unfluctuating peace. The feverish gadfly tricks me up and down. It must be. Art's a witness of what is behind the show. If this world show were all, then imitation would be all in art. There Job's hand gripes us, for we stand here, we, genuine artists, witnessing for God's complete, consummate, undivided work, that every natural flower which grows on earth implies a flower upon the spiritual side, substantial, archetypal, all aglow, with a blossoming causes not so far away, that we, whose spirit sense is somewhat cleared, may catch at something of the bloom and brief, too vaguely apprehended, though indeed still apprehended, consciously or not, and still transferred to picture, music, verse, for thrilling audience and beholding souls, by signs and touches which are known to souls. How known they know not, why they cannot find. So straight call out on genius say, a man produced this, when much rather they should say, his insight, and he saw this. This is art, self magnified and magnifying the truth, which fully recognized would change the world and shift its morals. If a man could feel, not one day in the artist's ecstasy, but every day, feast, fast, or working day, the spiritual significance burn through the hieroglyphic of material shows. Henceforward he would paint the globe with wings, and reverence fish and fowl, the boat, the tree, and even his very body as a man, which now he counts so vile that all the towns make awful of their daughters for use on summer nights, when God is sad in heaven to think what goes on in his recreant world. He made quiet other. While that noon he made to shine there at the first love's covenant. Shine still, convicted as a marriage ring before ultra's eyes. How sure, how sure it is that if we say a true word, instantly we feel it's God's, not ours, and pass it on as bread at sacrament. We taste and pass nor handle for a moment, as indeed we dare to set up any claim to such. And I, my poem, let my readers talk. I am closer to it. I can speak as well. I'll say with Romney that the book is weak, the range uneven, the points of sight obscured, the music interrupted. Let us go. The end of woman or of man, I think, is not a book. Alas, the best of books is but a word in art, which soon grows cramped, stiff, dubious, statured with the weight of years, and drops in accent or digamma down some cranny of unfathomable time beyond the critic's reaching. Art itself, we call the higher life, must feel the soul live past it, for more is felt than is perceived, and more is perceived than can be interpreted, and love strikes higher with its lambent flame than art can pile the faggots. Okay. Is it so? When Job's hand meets us with composing touch, and when at last we are hushed and satisfied, then lo, does not call it truth, but love? Well, well, my father was an Englishman. My mother's blood in me is not so strong that I should hear the stress of Tuscan noon and keep my wits. The town there seems to seethe in this million boiled pot of the sun, and all the patient hills are bubbling round as if a prick would leave them flat. Does heaven keep far off, not to set us in a blaze? Not so. Let drag your fiery fringes, heaven, and burn us up to quiet. Ah, we know too much here not to know what's best for peace. We have too much light here not to want more fire to purify and end us. We talk, conclude upon divine philosophies and get the things of men for hopeful books, whereat we take our own life up and pshaw, unless we piece it with another's life, a yard of silk to carry out our lawn, as well. Suppose my little handkerchief would cover salmonate, church and all. If out I threw it past the cypresses, as in this rugged narrow life of mine, contain my own conclusions. But at least we'll shut up the Persiani and sit down, and when my head's done aching in the cool, write just a word to Kate in Carrington. May joy be with them. She has chosen well, and he not ill. Okay, um, I'm going to end it right there. You end it right there, and okay, okay. And I want to thank you all. Thank you all for listening and watching. And and this remember this is pre-recording, and I'm recording this. So when you hear it, it'll be pre-recorded. And I want to thank everyone for being here and listening. And I hope y'all enjoyed the show. And I won't have time to do another pre-recording, so I'll be back after the New Year's. Okay, right after the New Year's. And thank you all. And and thank you all very much. And I hope you all have well it's almost Christmas time. So I wish you each one of you all a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year's. Be safe and stay safe. And remember the true meaning of Christmas is Jesus Christ being born. That's the true meaning. Okay. And and remember, you're never too old to live your never too old or too young to live your dreams. Okay. And God bless you and I love y'all and God loves y'all too. And have a good night, good good weekend, and a good week. Thank you all, and have a good Christmas Day and a good New Year's. Thank you all. I love you all, and see you all next time.